Now on CBC Vancouver News. Anxious wait. People forced from their homes by wildfires in the BC interior wonder when they can return, while others stay put.
It terrified me to think that we could lose everything that we worked so hard for.
Plus,
Charlie is just devastated, but she's going to the bathroom and eating, so that's the main thing.
finding space for pets forced to flee wildfires can be tough, but people are stepping up to help all sorts of animals. And
we're really excited.
We feel safe coming back.
almost 2 months after an electrical issue left a dozen kids with burn injuries, a popular BC water park is reopening. So what happened?
This is CBC Vancouver News.
Hello, I'm Dan Burritt. Thanks for joining us. We begin with the wildfire fight in BC's Caribou region. Crews are busy trying to get a handle on a massive blaze threatening several communities. Radio-Canada's Corentin Mité-Magnon is in the region and has more.
Evacuated from their home last Friday, residents of Clinton in BC's interior are still waiting to know when they'll be able to go back to their community. A list of criteria required to leave the evacuation order has been established. On the list, that flames have moved away, that 911 has been restored, that air and water quality has been tested, and that there is a safe way to move both in and out of the community, all criteria that has not been met yet. This afternoon, firefighters will organize the planned ignition to prevent the fire from reaching the north side of town.
This is critical work. It is, given the drought in the area and the extreme fire behavior we have been seeing, this is an ideal tactic to make it safe for our crews to bring the fire's edge down to existing control lines and make it safe for our crews to mop up. Completing this today will allow us to work towards securing the village of Clinton and working towards recovery and allowing people to return as soon as possible.
Across BC's interior in Kamloops, Merritt or 100 Mile House, evacuation centers are in place to welcome those who have had to flee their homes. But some decided to stay behind to fight the fire by themselves. This resident of 70 Mile House has been spared by the fire so far, but flames have edged closer to the community and it left her terrified at times.
Even the thought, it terrified me last night when I heard the information that we got. It terrified me to think that we could lose everything that we worked so hard for, that we've, taken so long to accumulate, that you just can't even imagine what it feels like.
Around 130 wildfires are burning across the province, mostly in the southern interior. 40% of them are burning out of control, and over 1,000 wildfire firefighters are deployed on the ground. Corentin Mité-Magnon, CBC News, south of Clinton, BC.
It's not just people being forced from their homes because of wildfires in this province. It's a lot of pets, too. At the Emergency Evacuation Center in Kamloops, it's help for all sorts of creatures, two-legged, four-legged, and beyond. As the CBC's Shelley Joyce shows us, many furry friends from Clinton and 70 Mile House are getting some hands-on care.
The stress on pets evacuated because of wildfire can be crushing.
This is Charlie Chow Chow. She's 5 years old, and she's black. Charlie is just devastated, but she's going to the bathroom and eating, so that's the main thing.
Monroe and Charlie Chow Chow are sticking pretty close together. Emergency Support Services in Kamloops is trying to find accommodations for evacuees and pets, but sometimes they can't stay together. Michelle Field and her daughter Jade were lucky enough to get a hotel room that would take their dog and 2 cats.
We weren't able to get a hotel room right away because not everybody takes cats. They take dogs, but almost nobody takes cats.
There was some stress getting them in the vehicle and getting out of town when the order to evacuate Clinton came down.
They were like, "Are we going to the vet again? Where are we going?" They were freaking out very badly.
We have 1 chicken, and her name was Salt. No hotel room's going to take a chicken. So I put out tons of food for her, a ton of water.
This is where we have the dogs.
Donna Wackerbauer is with the Canadian Disaster Animal Response Team. They're set up at the Cooper Centre in Kamloops, helping to offer lodging to animals that don't behave so well in a hotel room, like chickens and farm dogs.
A lot of the hotels I've heard have ran out of pet-friendly rooms. We just received about 44 chickens last night, so it added to the fun.
Apparently we're getting some roosters in tonight.
I had 3 chickens, 5 cats, Rascal, Pebbles, Tiger, Hans, and Mosey. Mosey and Rascal, because of how traumatized they were, I ended up surrendering them to the SPCA so that they would have a better chance of being rehomed and cared for.
He's like, this is life, this is luxury. I've never been in such a big bed before. Put me back.
For those who didn't make the cut for a cozy hotel room like these cats did, evacuees can visit their pets here anytime they want. The Canadian Disaster Animal Response Team is set up in the Cooper Centre. Shelley Joyce, CBC News, Kamloops.
Darius Madavi is taking the night off, so Riley Laychuk is here with our first look at the weather. Riley, what's next amid all these wildfires?
Thanks, Dan. Unfortunately, for the wildfire situation in parts of the interior, not a lot of good news weather-wise. The thing that we do have going is winds that will stay fairly light. However, with a ridge in the jet stream carrying all this cloud cover and really the storm track north of the area where we are seeing the bulk of these fires burning, we're not looking at a lot of relief in sight here. So this is a look at the long-range model. Our best chance of seeing some precipitation in parts of the southern interior coming as we get into the day on Sunday. Certainly parts of the Caribou region looking at some good rainfall as we get through the weekend. But with that storm track, the jet stream forming this ridge, all of this moisture traveling slightly further north from the places where we really need it. And the long range outlook looking at some very warm weather remaining in place. I'll have the details coming up in a bit.
Sounds good, Riley. Thanks. More than 6 weeks after an electrical issue sent 12 children to hospital, Cultus Lake Water Park is now reopened. Benit Brach has more on what happened.
Guests are once again making a splash on some slides at Cultus Lake Water Park. And 6 weeks after an electrical incident left 12 children with burn injuries here, it is a phased opening. But there is more insight into what happened that day.
I can share that portions of the park's electrical system, originally installed during a park expansion, were not properly bonded or grounded. When the electrical faults developed in a nearby building and light fixture on June 15th, deficiencies in the grounding system prevented proper operation of the circuit breakers, and the handrail became energized.
Bonding connects the metal parts of an electrical system to each other. Grounding connects these bonded parts to the earth. If a fault happens, these systems can trip the circuit breaker to disconnect power. Improperly installed, they can lead to accidents. Jen Brown's son was among those injured.
My son physically, his burns on his feet have healed up, just a little bit of scarring there. Still quite anxious about, the whole incident and things surrounding that. He says he never wants to ever go to a water park again. That'll be an uphill battle, I think.
Repair work and inspections are ongoing on the side of the park where the incident happened. Features including a hot tubs, bazooka bowls, the 0 to 60 slide remain closed. But the water park is now welcoming back guests to areas that have passed inspection.
All necessary repairs for the non-compliances within the areas of the park scheduled to reopen have been completed by qualified and licensed contractors.
Here's Cody's.
Yes. Something many here have been looking forward to.
We're really excited. We're obviously upset that, it happened, but we're happy that the community gets to enjoy the slides again.
We feel safe coming back, and we saw that it was like a little bit cheaper, so that excited us.
I know there might have been an incident and half the water park's closed, but it's still going to be a blast.
On its website, the water park says a comprehensive review has happened of all electrical work, lighting installations, metal railings, and other objects. But there is more work to do. In its most recent update online, it says to complete this work thoroughly and efficiently, we're focusing on specific areas of the park and completing all required reviews and corrections before reopening those areas to guests. CBC News reached out to the park for an interview, but they deferred to their statement online. The lead investigator says a full report will be out later this year. Benit Brach, CBC News, Cultus Lake.
Another German company has agreed to buy liquefied natural gas from a planned project off BC's north coast.
This is a significant commitment by Uniper to British Columbia, to Salicum's LNG, and to the future.
Uniper says it will buy 2 million tons of LNG annually from the Silesum's plant starting in 2032 for up to 2 decades. It had previously just signed a letter of intent. Silesum's is expected to produce 12 million tons of LNG a year from 2 floating platforms. It's led by the Nisga'a Nation in partnership with Houston-based Western LNG. In May, German company Cefe committed to 1 million tons a year. Construction has now begun for TransLink's first housing development project.
Revenue generated through this development will be reinvested into transit, creating a new source of non-taxation revenue and helping ease the pressure on taxpayers and on our riders. Homes next to transit, revenue reinvested into transit, that is the opportunity here today.
The development site will replace a low-rise commercial building along Arbutus Street between West Broadway and West 10th. It will be directly across from the future Arbutus Station, part of the Broadway subway project. Well, Vancouver may no longer be hosting soccer fans from around the world, but our main airport remains busy. YVR says it's expecting the busiest long weekend of the summer coming up. The airport is bracing for about 91,000 passengers on Friday alone. That almost rivals the busiest day during the FIFA Men's World Cup, which saw 92,000 passengers go through the airport. A day after Vancouver Council voted down a controversial plan to upzone large parts of this city, the governing ABC majority is telling supporters the plan was disrespectful. But our municipal affairs reporter Justin McElroy has a fact check on how they used to talk about it.
Who is responsible for Vancouver's botched villages plan?
It is Council's job to direct exploration of opportunities, to get reports back, to evaluate those reports, to determine if they are good for our city and our neighbourhoods and our residents, to listen to those residents, and then to make a decision. And that is what happened here.
It's a good faith process, according to Councillor Sarah Kirby-Young, speaking after Council rejected the mass upzoning of 17 village areas around the city, following years of study. And at the beginning of his speech saying he would vote no, Ken Sim also made it seem like this was a respectful process.
First of all, I do want to acknowledge our incredible team at the City of Vancouver for the incredibly, the vast amount and hard work that you have put on this initiative.
But that's not what ABC Vancouver told their supporters. In an email sent hours after the vote, they said the plan disrespected residents and said repeatedly that the ideas came from the bureaucracy. But who was pushing this plan that was so threatening? Here is a montage.
I'm going to do everything possible to build as much, creating an environment where we can build as much housing as quickly as possible.
We have to get moving with our processes, revisit old ways of doing things.
Because of the crisis, we need transformative change.
That is the game changer, is the ability to actually eliminate having to go through a public hearing process.
Is there any ability for us to expedite this process? Is there anything you need from council, or is there anything we can do to make it go to help it go faster?
That was Ken Sim and ABC councillors in meetings in 2024 and 2025 about the Villages Plan. Enthusiastic about its general ideas, its ability to take power away from public hearings, and encouraging staff to go bolder and faster. Little wonder why the city's former head of transportation planning was dismayed by ABC's email, as he repeated what Kirby-Young said, that council votes to ask staff to explore something based on specific principles, that staff put forward a specific plan, and that council votes on whether to accept, reject, or amend proposals. Now, it is true that the biggest complaint about the plan of mandatory rezoning in some areas at the core of these villages to any serious exchange of property was not mentioned by councillors in those earlier meetings. But it's also true that council could have amended it out of the plan if they wished. We asked ABC Vancouver if anyone should be held accountable for a plan so disrespectful to Vancouver residents, and they said the following. That staff developed the plan, but it did not reflect council's direction, and that while ABC has approved a lot of housing and sped up permitting, they don't support prescribed changes if you want to redevelop your single-family home. Which is their right. But it's also fair to note that at election time, parties will say different things to different groups. Justin McElroy, CBC News, Vancouver.
Well, much of our province deals with fire and drought. The west coast of Vancouver Island is facing a lot of rain. How it's affecting hikers on the West Coast Trail. Stick around. Heavy rain, waist-deep mud, and swollen rivers have forced dozens of people to call off hikes on BC's famous West Coast Trail. More rain is in the forecast for this weekend. Claire Palmer caught up with some soaked hikers trying to dry off.
Just 2 days into a hike he'd looked forward to for 25 years, Patrick Laprise and his 15-year-old son found themselves on a boat full of hikers abandoning their journey on Vancouver Island's West Coast Trail.
It's frightening, kind of, in those conditions, because we had to move fast. We were super cold. Like, there's nothing, nobody can help us, right?
He's one of more than 70 people who cut their hike short since Sunday because of heavy rain and high rivers. A family of hikers from Germany halted their adventure in Bamfield, a 2-hour drive southwest of Port Alberni.
We had to cut it in half because the rain was pouring like crazy, and I had twisted my ankle before, so I didn't want to risk twisting it again.
I got wet up to here, like up to the hip almost, and it was quite hard to walk through.
The owners of a popular crab shack and ferry service at the trail's midway point helped move the hikers out.
Everyone came in and they were soaking wet from top to bottom, not a dry spot on any of them. And they're just piling up at our crab shack dock right now.
It's been pretty mind-boggling.
Parks Canada, which runs the trail, is urging hikers to consider canceling or delaying their trips, warning some rivers are impassable, with more rain expected this weekend. But some tenacious hikers say they're going for it.
And we got like 2 more days worth of food than we plan on using.
We're prepared for like 8 or 9 days food-wise, I guess. So if we have to turn back, like that's gonna be okay.
Hikers with reservations between July 27th and August 1st can cancel and receive a full refund. And for some of those who did turn back, they hope to return.
I would do it again and try a trip similar to this. And I think in the end, the discomfort is what we want out of it, even if it's hard to kind of accept. So yeah, very positive, very positive.
Claire Palmer, CBC News, Bamfield.
Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke is asking the Board of Metro Vancouver to downsize its scope of work. She says it's to ease its operational costs. As Saurabh Sandhu reports, the chair is pushing back and says they've already introduced several governance reforms.
Surrey Mayor Brenda Locke says changes at Metro Vancouver last week that saw its board membership shrunk are not enough to address concerns over rising costs and wasteful spending. The board chair is brushing off her criticism and says several changes have been introduced.
It did not get to the core problem at Metro Vancouver.
Last Friday, Metro Vancouver's board approved changes to its board size and structure. The board is being reduced from 45 to 34 directors.
Just removing 3 directors from Surrey and 4 from Vancouver and calling it a day does not make the kind of systemic changes that they needed to make.
In a statement, Board Chair Mike Hurley says an independent board governance review was conducted last year. Metro Vancouver has implemented 24 of the 47 recommendations. The changes include measures to strengthen governance, oversight, accountability, and decision-making across the organization. But Locke says that's not enough.
It's not going to address issues like the overruns at the North Shore wastewater. It's not going to address issues around scope creep, and it's certainly not going to address equity.
Last week, Surrey's mayoral candidate Doug McCallum announced he would pull the city out of Metro Vancouver if elected.
Well, we can't pull out of Metro. We're reliant on them for some of our basic services like sewer and water.
Councillor Linda Annis, who's also running for mayor, says Metro Vancouver should look at cost-cutting measures.
Do we need to be involved in parks and housing and all the other things? No, it's just become way, way too cumbersome and such a costly second level of government.
Metro Vancouver also voted to advance a major projects oversight board last week to share oversight on its largest and most complex water and wastewater infrastructure projects. Saurabh Sandhu, CBC News, Surrey.
A good day for a visit to the beach, if not slightly cooler. A day that was in White Rock. Riley Laychuk has your BC-wide weather forecast coming up. Tens of thousands of WestJet passengers are facing uncertainty. The threat of a strike or lockout could cause chaos as soon as this long weekend. As Anise Haydari reports, the airline and the union representing flight attendants have agreed to a plan just in case there is a labor disruption.
WestJet is getting ready to wrap up some operations in case it can't reach a deal with flight attendants. A strike or lockout could ground flights over the busy long weekend. The airline and union have agreed on how to wind things down if that happens. In an internal note obtained by CBC News, a WestJet executive said this isn't a sign things have escalated at the negotiation table, and that it's about getting flights and employees home if there's job action. In a statement, the company wrote, "This does not mean a travel disruption will occur." Industry experts say preparing for a possible work stoppage isn't a surprise.
They'll start doing things tomorrow. If not later on today, start either canceling outbound flights from Calgary to Japan. Those will be canceled, but that's normal in the event of a shutdown.
As of Wednesday evening, flights haven't been canceled. The union and the company are still at the bargaining table.
We don't want to have to cause disruption, and so part of what a strike can look like, obviously, is winding down that operation to support our cabin crew members. We felt that this deal was something that ensured, like I said, a safe and orderly wind down in the event that a strike does have to take place.
Previous labor disputes at both Air Canada and WestJet have seen the federal government order everyone back to work.
If they expect that they're going to get federal intervention to order workers back to work, then they have no incentive to reach an agreement at the bargaining table, and they can just drag their feet. And this is what we've seen.
But so far, the federal government won't say if it will block a strike.
They are very, very well supported by the Federal Mediation Service, and we're hopeful that they reach a negotiated agreement.
Anise Haydari reporting. HIV cases are climbing in Canada, with new data showing an increase of more than 20% in just 2 years. Tashana Reid hears from experts about why this is happening and what needs to change.
Protests against American cuts to HIV funding take center stage at the International AIDS Conference. Health experts warning the loss in funding could undo years of progress.
The end is no longer limited by science, it's limited by inequality, by political choices.
At least 21 countries have reported a rise in cases, and Canada has too. New data shows there were more than 2,500 new HIV infections in 2024, a 23% increase compared to 2 years earlier.
What we're seeing is a resurgence of HIV, both new infections and AIDS, which was until 2 or 3 years ago persistently declining because the strategy was working.
Dr. Montaner was a lead architect behind the treatment as prevention strategy, adopted by the UN to end the AIDS pandemic by 2030. It calls for 95% of people with HIV to be diagnosed, to be on treatment, and to have a suppressed viral load. But Canada is not meeting its targets.
There has been limited, if any, significant investment from the federal government.
Advocates say HIV is showing up in smaller communities without adequate health support services.
They almost certainly do not have an HIV organization supporting the work. And in fact, many don't even have a clinic or a healthcare provider available to them.
In May, Manitoba declared HIV a public health emergency, and Saskatchewan has seen a record number of cases.
We do see a lot of newer cases coming in.
Daryl Jordan lives with HIV and is a harm reduction worker. He says testing is key.
Once you're tested, you can be treated. And once you're treated, you're going to live a normal life.
Health experts are also calling on the government to provide more frequent reporting of HIV cases and invest in community supports. Tashana Reid, CBC News, Toronto.
A change coming to Alberta's provincial drug coverage in the fall will determine whether the province or workplace insurance pays for prescriptions first when it comes to workers 65 and older. As Christine Burek explains, some say it could spark a shift throughout Canada.
A new Alberta law could soon drive up health insurance costs for businesses and spark a ripple effect across the country.
I'd be really surprised if the other provinces and premiers weren't watching this really closely.
Alberta is shifting primary health and drug coverage for workers 65 and older directly onto employers, meaning if those employees fill a drug prescription, the company's insurance provider, not the province, is now the first in line to pay. The legislation, Bill 11, bans employers from cutting benefits for active staff based on age. So industry estimates say employer health and drug bills could jump 2 to 5% on average.
Whether or not your employer decides to pass on some of those costs to employees is really going to be up to the employer.
All workers now face the possibility of higher copays and reduced or capped coverage and lower wage growth.
The cost of health insurance comes out of the wages of employees. And basically, as insurance and healthcare costs go up, wages grow more slowly over time.
Data shows 15% of seniors aged 65 and older are now in the workforce nationally. In Alberta, it's 17%.
It would just be another variable in the hiring process.
Small business owners are watching the changes closely. To manage costs, some may hire fewer older workers or switch to benefit-free contracts.
I'm more so worried that more of the cost of healthcare would be on the employer's side or just private side that we would have to pay for.
I suspect there's also a lot of uncertainty. There are a lot of things in here that make me wonder if they don't really conform to the Canada Health Act.
The new rule is set to take effect this fall, and with it, some experts say Alberta is paving the way for 2 tracks of healthcare, adding, as soon as that first domino falls, other provinces may soon follow. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
Fighting has resumed in the Middle East. Iran has fired a barrage of missiles at American targets in the region, and the U.S. and Saudi Arabia have attacked Iranian-backed militias in Iraq. Julia Chapman reports on the widening conflict.
The lull in fighting between the U.S. and Iran is over. Having taken a few days off from strikes, President Donald Trump is now vowing to hit Iran hard. In an interview to Fox News, he reportedly used profanity to threaten a firm response to Iranian attacks on American bases. In a statement last night, U.S. Central Command says it intercepted a surprise attack, shooting down multiple ballistic missiles. Fox News is also quoting President Trump as saying that Jordan was the target and that there were only minutes of warning that the missiles were incoming. Iran says this is a response to U.S. aggression. It also says that it struck 3 oil tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, there's been no confirmation of that, but the reports alone have sent oil prices rising again. And there is no sign of any resolution over the waterway. We're hearing today that Iran has rejected a proposal from Oman for how the 2 countries could jointly manage it. Meanwhile, U.S. Central Command says its forces, along with those from Saudi Arabia, targeted weapons and logistics sites in eastern Iraq. It says they belonged to terrorist groups who had carried out drone attacks on the orders of Iran's Revolutionary Guard. Now, Iran-backed militias in Iraq say several of their fighters have been killed, and Iraq's presidency has condemned the attacks. Saudi Arabia accuses these militias of recent drone strikes against Saudi oil sites. And Saudi Arabia is increasingly being drawn into the wider Middle East conflict. We've seen the Houthis, another Iranian proxy group, this one in Yemen, target shipping in the Bab al-Mandeb Strait, the other major trade pinch point in the Middle East, along with the Strait of Hormuz. Now, that has made things very challenging for the Saudis as they try to export their oil. And with the targeting of oil facilities, there seems to be a reaching of a tipping point for the Saudis. So we're now seeing them take direct action against Iranian proxies in Iraq alongside the Americans. Julia Chapman, CBC News, London.
The doctor who served as a key advisor to 2 presidents during the COVID-19 pandemic appeared at a U.S. congressional hearing today. Dr. Anthony Fauci had been summoned to answer questions about his handling of the crisis. Instead, he invoked his constitutional right to remain silent and accused one Republican senator of having what he called an unhinged obsession with prosecuting him. More now from Tom Perry.
To Anthony Fauci, this hearing was not about getting answers. It was instead the latest attempt by his political nemesis, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, to get him.
The only conclusion I can reach
is that the sole reason he is calling me before this committee is to get me to say something, anything, that could vindicate his repeated public pledges that I end up, in his words, quote, behind bars, unquote.
Paul has been attacking Fauci for years, accusing him of covering up the origins of COVID, funding research that led to the outbreak, and subjecting Americans to unnecessary masking requirements and lockdowns during the pandemic.
I hope today Dr. Fauci will come clean.
Fauci instead answered every question the same way.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
Repeating that answer more than 100 times in the face of an increasingly angry interrogation by Republican senators.
Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the f do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country.
As the hearing heated up, Rand Paul, the chair, ordered Fauci's lawyer out of the room.
You are not recognized, sir. Security, please remove him from the room.
Outside the hearing, U.S. President Donald Trump piled on, posting on social media, attacking Fauci, calling him a super masker whose ideas were crazy and whose advice Trump says he ignored.
COVID was a disaster, but Fauci did not help.
Former President Joe Biden anticipated Fauci coming under this kind of scrutiny and preemptively pardoned him on his way out of office. But for Republicans, this isn't over. They say they'll vote next week on whether to hold Fauci in contempt for his testimony or lack of it. Tom Perry, CBC News, Washington.
Wildfires in Bordeaux have led to the largest peacetime evacuations in the history of France. We're going to take you to the front lines after the break.
This is Vancouver is a new CBC podcast where we explore the issues, the stories, and the people that make this place home. Listen to This is Vancouver wherever you get your podcasts.
Three firefighters have died battling flames on the island of Crete. Greece is one of a number of European countries blackened by fires this summer. The conditions have already displaced more than 300,000 people in Spain and France alone. The CBC's Nala Ayed is outside Bordeaux at a staging ground for fire crews.
We are just west of Bordeaux in the Gironde area, which has been disproportionately affected by the wildfires here in France. We had just arrived when the firefighters had discovered yet another new fire that had cropped up in the extraordinarily high temperatures and low humidity of this afternoon. And so as they were working, their tactic was to try to work with the direction of the wind, which has actually picked up significantly this afternoon, to drive the fire away from drier areas and towards the road to hopefully stem its effect. Clearly, the lower humidity today and the higher temperatures that came are a huge challenge for the firefighters. But with the help of water bombers, they were able to diminish the front of the fire and to push the flames back away from the dry areas. It is just a small victory in what has been one of the worst fire seasons in France, and one that has caused one of the largest evacuations in memory. Nala Ayed, CBC News, west of Bordeaux, France.
A new Statistics Canada report suggests wildfires disproportionately impact Indigenous peoples. Data from Canada's most destructive wildfire season in 2023 shows nearly half of the evacuations were in Indigenous majority communities. The authors note wildfires can impede cultural practices, among other things. To discuss these findings further, we've reached Jennifer Grenz. She's a member of Lytton First Nation and an assistant professor of forest resources management at UBC. Jennifer, first of all, why are Indigenous communities impacted by fires more than others?
Well, we're out where the fires are happening. You know, I think that this is something that's really important to acknowledge, is that we're out on fragmented pieces of our territories that we've lived upon for 10,000 plus years, alongside many rural communities as well that are deeply affected by the ongoing impacts of these fires.
I mentioned it at the start. What are some of the Indigenous cultural practices that wildfires disrupt?
Well, I think, you know, one of the things that we need to recognize is that the wildfires are just putting a bit of a magnifying lens on ongoing issues of cultural impacts of just a century of land use in our country that has actually stopped Indigenous fire stewardship and even converted our forests into tree plantations that aren't much like, you know, the lands that our cultural practices occurred upon, you know, not that long ago. And so, you know, while we have ongoing impacts to things like our plant food systems and our protein sources, land-based protein sources, again, also that folks in rural communities rely upon, you know, they've been eroded for a really long time. And so I think one of the things about this particular report is that it's missing a little bit of the ecological history that got us here to begin with, which is just magnifying these impacts.
As we mentioned, you're a member of Lytton First Nation, which of course experienced that devastating wildfire that essentially reduced Lytton to ashes in 2021. Just last month, the village faced an evacuation alert because of another nearby fire. How are things in your nation and territory right now?
Right. Well, I just need to be clear. I don't live in our community. I'm a member. I'm part of our lands committee. But, you know, Lytton is still rebuilding. You know, community members are deeply traumatized by what happened there in 2021 and are re-traumatized again by, you know, what happened this year. And I think this is why it's so important for us to be having discussions about what got us here, so that we can ensure that we're not planting the next generation's fires and that we are doing all of the things that we need to keep our communities safe. And so much of our cultural knowledge and our stewardship, you know, can help us to move forward with the wisdom that's needed.
We know there are some cultural burns and practices and things that are being incorporated by BC Wildfire Service. Beyond those, are there some other perhaps more practical things or those kinds of practical things that could be done to slow down or stop fires from affecting Indigenous communities more than others?
Absolutely. And I think what's really important to recognize is that Indigenous communities themselves are investing heavily in scientific research to create the resilient communities that we once had. So, examining things like thinning treatments, how we bring fire back onto lands, because these are not the same lands that we used fire on before, right? They've completely changed in terms of density of trees, the tree species themselves, but unfortunately, in the British Columbian context, we have land use policy that makes it very difficult to have these fires of choice rather than these fires of chance.
Jennifer Grenz, an Indigenous scholar and assistant professor in forest resources management at UBC. We really appreciate your time and expertise. Thanks for joining us.
Cook's
This weather update is brought to you by Elections BC. Local elections are this fall. There are rules for advertising, and Elections BC is here to help.
Darius Madavi is away this evening, so Riley Leitchuk is here with our BC-wide weather forecast as we deal with the heat and, of course, those wildfires. Riley.
Thanks, Dan. I'll start with temperatures on where we ended up through the afternoon hours today. A bit of a snapshot, if you will. 28s, 29s through the interior, closer to the Alberta border. Cranbrook at 30, Vancouver, Victoria, both at 22 degrees. We do, with a ridge building in the jet stream, get into some much warmer air as we get into the day on Thursday for parts of the interior. And this is a pattern that will last as we get through the next several days, right through the long weekend and into next week. So air quality warnings in place for southern parts of the Caribou region and through the interior because of the wildfires that are burning, some rapidly fluctuating air quality and air quality that can fluctuate quite greatly over short distances as well. So keep that in mind if you're in one of those regions that is under that warning. You can really see an area of low pressure starting to form off of the coast right now, but with the jet stream where it is arcing northward through parts of central British Columbia, that's going to push all of that rain further north from where we need it the most right now. However, parts of the north and central coast, Haida Gwaii into the northern part of the island, looking at some rainfall and quantities as well as we get through the next couple of days. Metro Vancouver, the south coast and into the interior, looking at mostly sunny skies and temperatures that will warm up as we get through the next couple of days here. Our best chance of getting some precipitation comes as we get through Saturday into Sunday across southern parts of the province. So here's a look at your forecast through Thursday, looking at 32 to 34 to the interior. Victoria at 22 degrees. And your long range looking like this, warming up, could be closer to 27 inland by the time we get into the day on Friday. And this is our best chance at getting some precipitation in the southern part of the province as we get through Saturday. Likely some showers through Metro Vancouver into Saturday, into Sunday morning, and temperatures that stay closer to seasonal as we get into next week.
Okay. Riley, thanks very much. As far as roadside attractions go, this one's a biggie. You can even walk in some giant footsteps. Come with us to Tumbler Ridge Global Geopark right after this.
help.
Hi, I'm Amy Bell, and here's what's in your CBC inbox.
On August 2nd, celebrate Pride with us at the 48th Annual Vancouver Pride Parade. You can also stop by the CBC tent and win some swag at the Davie Village Pride Party. And applications are now open for CBC's Indigenous Pathways program. This paid 9-month learning and development opportunity supports Indigenous candidates to hone their skills as storytellers. Learn more at cbc.ca/pathways.
A young North Vancouver man is now making good, very good on the ice. Macklin Celebrini is now the NHL's highest paid player. The 20-year-old signed a 5-year contract extension with the San Jose Sharks worth $94 million US. That means an average annual value of $18.8 million a year, making him the league's highest paid player. Celebrini finished 4th in NHL scoring last season. He was also Canada's leading scorer in the Milano Cortina Olympic Games with 5 goals, leading Canada's silver, including Celebrini. 2 of the NHL's top 5 highest paid players are from North Van. Connor Bedard of the Blackhawks signed a $75 million deal nearly 2 weeks ago. CBC British Columbia is on the hunt for BC's best roadside attraction. We have all sorts of plenty, quirky, fantastic, spectacular spots across this province. And today we're going to take you to the northeast, to Tumbler Ridge. Matt Preprost has more on the UNESCO Global Geopark that draws visitors from across the globe.
I found a dinosaur stand!
For Chu Xiao, a detour to Tumbler Ridge turned into an unforgettable moment.
Toe here and here.
A tourist from Taiwan, Xiao was hiking to a waterfall, and looking down, he spotted something unusual and snapped a picture.
So that would have been a type of iguanodon or hadrosaur, a duck-billed dinosaur.
Yeah.
So left toe, back heel, middle toe, right toe.
Wow. Wow.
Dinosaurs like these roamed the area 100 million years ago, when it was the coastline of a vast inland sea.
Yeah, oh, well done.
Wow, thank you.
Today, the gorges and mountains around Tumbler Ridge are dotted with their fossilized footprints.
It's good, lovely, small town, quiet, that's what I like. And actually the waterfall, the hike was amazing. I feel like during the summer I can spend so much time there. Like do it again and again, yeah.
So for example, in our Triassic rocks...
Geoscientist Roy Rule says it's regular people like Xiao who find most of the ancient tracks, skeletons, and seashells, then bring them to the experts.
People bring stuff to me all the time, be it photos or samples, and want the history and the story behind it. Because that's one of the fun things about this place, is just constantly finding new stuff.
With so much evidence of dinosaur life around Tumbler Ridge, the United Nations took notice, declaring it a UNESCO Global Geopark in 2015.
Every year, members of the public are making new discoveries around Tumbler Ridge, like finding this half-billion-year-old fossil in 2023. And many of them end up here at the Tumbler Ridge Museum.
Some public discoveries are small, others are large.
This is the first tyrannosaurid found in British Columbia.
Found in 2017 by a couple camping nearby, this jawbone is 76 million years old.
So you can see the serrations on the sides of the teeth here. If you look closely, it's almost like little steak knives.
It's housed here with more than 3,000 other dinosaur fossils, a collection spanning 500 million years, the largest of its kind in BC. Students from the University of Victoria are uncovering more dinosaur tracks this summer.
We wouldn't be able to do the things we do without people being aware that we exist and, bringing us fossils, collaborating with the geopark constantly. Those sorts of things, yeah, they all raise our reputation, all of our reputations.
The geopark has put Tumbler Ridge on the map as a destination. Dinosaur bones and footprints set in stone and sweeping mountain vistas, a reminder of their massive presence everywhere you look. Matt Preprost, CBC News, Tumbler Ridge.
Thanks for being with us tonight on CBC Vancouver News at 6. You can watch this newscast on CBC Gem, our free app, as well as on YouTube and our website, cbc.ca/BC. We'll have your next local news at 11 o'clock, right after the National. Good night.